Ember awoke to a distant roar, like a great wind. Her dreams, usually warm and bright, had taken on the chill of ice and azure. Rhyme's dreams were restless, filled with dancing fires and a bright, almost blinding light. He dreamed of a great wind, a roaring in the air like some great beast, and the faint smell of sulfur jolting him awake. He was the last in a long line of heroes, the lone defender of the castle in the heart of this kingdom of ice. Rhyme lowered the drawbridge of his castle. As to what it guarded against, he realized he had no idea. As she emerged from the great oak that was her home, she noticed the once great trees of the forest were shattered, broken. It was as if a great storm had blown through, splintering all in its path, the roar that had awoken her. She ventured on, her curiosity growing as she climbed through the tree hollows. There was a growing chill in the air, and the branches stirred in the wind. The storm may have passed, but she knew another was on the way. The permafrost was melting. Rhyme felt a gust of warm wind and wondered if it had brought the wisp beside him. The winds had melted the ice bridges, causing new drops and chasms. But Rhyme could still use the cold to his advantage. He ventured on to the edge of his kingdom. There, he hoped to find answers. The great fire that gave life to her land was dying. Fissures had cracked open tunnels in the cliffs, and great jets of sulfur erupted from the ground. Yet she knew she could use these to her advantage. She hoped to discover from where the strange winds blew. Rhyme hoped he still had time. He passed the gates of his kingdom and found new tunnels revealed by the melting of the ice. The glistening water of the cave ran down the walls like tears, as if weeping at the melting of his world. Both stepped on the bridge together, matching each other's steps. Ember met Rhyme. A shimmering barrier separated them. On either side of this barrier, each carried their world with them. Neither knew what world they had come to, yet clearly, someone had been here long ago. As they rode across the sky, the two caught sight of a great castle in the distance. And over it, a dark shape soared into the air and was gone. Perhaps there at the castle, they would find answers to what threatened their worlds. Buoyed by Ember's warmth, they rose and descended when Rhyme's chill fell upon them. Who had made these tunnels, there was no sign. Only by working together were they able to move forward. The wreckage of great mechanisms, wheels, and pulleys lay along the path. More structures lay ahead, forgotten in the overgrowth. Yet the road had been built with purpose in mind. They came upon a mine and saw what the mechanisms were for. The walls glittered, flecks in the rock shining like stars. It reminded them of the barrier between them and wondered if there was a connection. Great power lay in the veins of rock, and someone had sought to claim it, and here they had failed. No matter whether touched by cold or warmth, they noticed the ore held its color. Finally, they emerged from the mine, and across the bridge ahead of them lay the great castle they had seen from the gondola. And so, side by side, but with a chasm between them, Ember and Rhyme came to the castle gate and opened it together. The castle, majestic from a distance, had fallen into ruin, its halls empty. Of the ruler, there was no sign. Ash blackened the stones from a fire long ago. A great door, inscribed on its surface, a golden sheaf of wheat. As the scarf was taken, the door became brighter. Whoever had once held these scarves, the doors had opened for them. Another world opened up before them, fields of promise stretching as far as the eye could see. But the fields lay untended, the farmers gone. The faded black scarf seemed a hint of royalty, and if it was like the first, it might open doors ahead. Sulfur split the ground here, fissures in the rock. The fissures seemed to be recent, angry. but Rhyme was able to calm it for a time. Working together, Ember moved up and over as Rhyme froze the steam from the vents so she could pass. They worked well together. Evidence of the world's past inhabitants was all around them. The sulfur vents ran hotter and fiercer beneath the surface. Ember, for her part, was amazed at how Rhyme's presence quelled the vents so she could pass, and she was grateful. The intricacy of the mining platforms was awe-inspiring. Someone had obsessed over their construction, every moving part. They made it a game, each seeing the machinery as traps left by some jealous king hoarding his scarves, but not knowing the truth of it. The strange machines curled in and about themselves, in ways that reminded them of the castle's twisting hallways. The same architect, perhaps. Rhyme's spirit rose as he harnessed the cold to reach new heights. Ember, seeing his face, echoed his smile. A great cliff rose up before them. It looked as if they could climb the exterior. Perhaps they could use it to scout the horizon. The excavation seemed particularly deep here, as if this was one of the first places the mining had occurred. The two had started to forget a time when they were apart, a time when they were alone. They came to a foundry, which looked intact. As they crushed the ore, they both felt a powerful, dizzying rush come over them. The rush drove them onwards, and their spirits soared. They felt like they could do anything together. A great dredging machine looked built to sift ore from the bottom of the lake. Whoever had built these machines had sought the ore everywhere. The shifting ice and bright warmth made everything possible. The rush of the ore had faded. They both missed the sensation, but found comfort in the other's presence. The machines took on curious combinations, woven around heat and ice. Ember wondered if the architect had tried to make flames of his own to power his devices. They felt a rumbling in the earth, like the breathing of some great beast. The machine seemed to be a rain catcher, to catch ore from the sky itself. Through as they came to a great structure with mighty walls. In its claws, they noticed shredded remains of the black scarves they had seen. Was it gathering them or destroying them? They opened it to the sky and let the beast free. The wind buffeted them as the dragon spread its wings and took flight. Both were grateful the beast had not attacked them. It had been too focused on the sky, as if eager to be home, a home far from here. Yet the thoughts of the beast vanished as they came to a door, much like the one that had brought them here. Beyond, the castle awaited with other worlds to explore. Compared to the sunlit world they had left, the castle seemed even darker and emptier than before. Trees and brush filled the interior, the outside world creeping in slowly. Some mechanisms had been dormant so long, moss and ivy covered them. Yet the chains served as waypoints and signposts to where to go. Another door. On its surface was etched a mountain, with rays of light falling upon it. Great chains and pulleys ran along the galleries and hung from the ceiling, ferrying the ore for the absent king. Great towers rose above them and the sky opened up, shattered stones leading upward. Atop the tower, a door with a face, eyes closed, inscribed on its surface. A processional hall, the candles unlit. Ahead was a meditation pool, still and quiet. The sanctum looked as if a great force had broken through from above. A pillar had toppled over, but looked as if it might be moved. A throne room with a single chair. Suits of armor stood watch, the only guards left. Looking from above, the hall seemed even emptier. Light fought to enter the room, now that the candles had died.